Summer's officially over. Oh, and now we're going to be getting into the spooky season, the winter season, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas. But August was a really strong month. We had a really strong 3 months for summer in terms of film, and August gave us some gems. I saw 9 films, and not all of them were great. I'm going to be ranking all 9 in this video. Let's do it.
Sorry, who is this?
There is a bomb under your seat. If you... Do I have your attention?
Liam Neeson is doing the same shtick since Taken 1. Ever since that movie popped off, he has been the older action guy that you don't assume has a set of skills and has to protect family or protect some other person, and for a while it was working. There's a couple of his action films in the beginning that I really enjoyed, but now that he's been doing the same thing over and over with less fanfare and it looks like less budget and original ideas, it's starting to become run of the mill. I think Retribution is the epitome of that. Has a fun premise. Him and his kids are stuck in a car with a bomb, and if they get out of their seat, it blows up. It should be real fun. Something like Phone Booth, Speed, but unfortunately, it's not as fun. It's not as well made, and the third act completely falls apart.
Go, go, go! We've never seen this before. They hunted it back.
I never saw the first Meg. Thought it looked really stupid, and at the time I wasn't into those kind of films. And then I saw the trailer for Meg 2, and it looks like so much fun, so silly. And then I heard how the first Meg was really good because of how you could just turn your brain off and have fun and not think about it and just enjoy the silly action. So I was really excited going into this film, but unfortunately it let me down completely because they tried to make 90% of the film this serious environmental drama and didn't have the acting or the writing ability to really hold up the story. And then what we came to look for, the Megs, the silliness, the campiness, the fun, the action, was done in the last 10 to 15, 20 minutes of the film. And the movie is 2 hours. So yeah, this was just a huge disappointment. The only reason it's not lower than Retribution is because that last 20 minutes was so much fun. We got Krakens and Megs and all this silly action. Jason Statham stopping a Meg with his foot. It was silly. It was insane. That's what I came for. And I finally got to turn my brain off. But I wish that was the whole movie.
My bat mitzvah determines the rest of my life. If I have a kick-ass party, doors would open. And I just think Dua Lipa would make the party perfect.
You can have a ball pit.
That's for kids. I've had my period for 7 months now.
That's a long period, sweetheart.
This is the only movie on this list that I don't have a review for on my channel. I really delayed on watching it because I'm not a big fan of Adam Sandler's Netflix movies for the most part. I think Hustle was really great, but I like his more serious comedies and serious dramas, and he's been doing a lot of silly stuff like Hubie Halloween and things like that. So when I heard that this movie was actually being heralded as like a good movie, I was like, let me go check it out. I was curious, and what I was surprised to get is a very sweet and charming coming of age story with Adam Sandler's daughter starring in it and doing a pretty good job. I look into Jewish bar mitzvahs and the Jewish culture and how they handle things and how we're all just the same. A lot of the things that you see and a lot of the tropes that you see in coming of age stories and stories about people becoming like a woman and things like that when they're turning 16 or whether in any culture are here. This reminds me of Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which came out early this year, which was really good. This is not as good, but it has a lot of the elements there, and I think that they did a really good job of highlighting what his daughter, the main character, was really good at. So yeah, I enjoyed this film a lot. I recommend it if you like coming of age teen dramas, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Evil is on board. Powerful evil.
We call him Dracula.
When I walked out of the theater after watching this film, I wasn't 100% sure how other people were going to feel about it. For me personally, I thought it was really, really good, and I thought this was going to be a great start to a franchise, an anthology franchise where we see different parts of Dracula and how people have to interact and deal with them in different situations. The Last Voyage of Demeter is a bunch of people stuck on the boat called Demeter with Dracula, and it's gorgeously shot, well acted, has some really chilling scenes and some really great use of VFX and practical effects, especially when it comes to Dracula itself. But unfortunately, the story itself is kind of cookie cutter. You kind of know what's going to happen, where it's going to go, and it takes its time, which is not for everybody. Dracula doesn't, really go into full gear until towards the end of the film, which I can see a lot of people were disappointed in. Especially if you watch a lot of horror films, this might not be too scary, but for me personally, I had a good time, and unfortunately it didn't do good in the box office, but hopefully it can turn into a streaming service and go there somewhere and take off.
What are we gonna do?
Shut up! I'm not missing my race.
I'm gonna puke.
Don't pick up my dad's car.
Yes, we're not going to jail!
Oh, crap.
Whew! I went into this film with such low expectations. I know video game movies have been doing better these days, but not by much for the most part. But Gran Turismo's trailer really did not sell how much fun, how much heart, and how intense this film was going to be. David Harbour does a fantastic job of being so charismatic and being so likable in this film, and doing a great job of bringing the best out of our, I don't want to say rookie actors, because I'm not sure how each of these people were looking, or acting, I should say, but these actors that don't have so much experience in a bigger movie like this. And they all did a great job of making this film have a lot of warmth to it. And Neil Blomkamp, the director, is the saving grace, because this story has a very stereotypical story to it, even if it's based on a true story. But his directing, the flair he adds to it when things happen in the film, and how it's executed is what makes this movie special. I had such a great time in the theater watching this movie. It's not perfect, it has its flaws, but overall, I love it.
Okay, I want to fly. Let's do this. Yeah!
You gotta force it to come out.
What do you... You're a genius.
What? I know. But what'd I say?
No.
I went into Blue Beetle very, 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 very worried, because I'm a really big fan of the character from Young Justice and from seeing him in the comics, and I didn't know the directors that were doing this, and also some of the talent in front of the camera I didn't know. Obviously, I knew the character guy that was playing Jaime Reyes from Cobra Kai, but I didn't know this was going to be as good as it ended up being, because the trailers were so weak. But I end up loving this film. It's fun, and like a lot of movies on this list, have a lot of heart. It's funny. I couldn't believe how much I got to laugh throughout the film. And even though I think that the first act is a little messy, after that I think it takes off and touches on things in Mexican culture that we don't see in blockbusters like this. The action is actually really, really fun and intense, and the practical use of the suit was perfect. I miss the days when Iron Man used to have a practical suit on and then just CGI on. I love the fact that in the third act, when his mask was broken, you could see that he was actually wearing it. It just brings a different life to it. And I really, really thought there was so many elements of this movie that worked really well. The only thing that was a drawback was the fact that, well, one of the main drawbacks was the villain was very cookie cutter, didn't get enough time to be fleshed out, despite the actors giving it their all. Overall, I love Blue Beetle.
We're just running errands.
That's it?
Look, we're really sorry, Splinter. Some of the guys wanted to get pizza, and I tried to talk them out of it.
You ratted us out.
Hey, don't use that word that way.
I mean, it's 2023.
Sorry, Dad.
Style and substance. A lot of times you only get one or the other, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem decides to do both, and I loved it. It's so good. I'm a big fan of the franchise overall. I love the 90s movie. I love the animated films. I love the animated shows. And this was such a pleasant surprise because Seth Rogen and co decided to make them actual teens, which we have not seen basically. They kind of act like kids in some versions, but they were played by teens and they act like how teenagers act today. And I think it brought such a great life to the film, other than the fact that they act like teens and the teens that did it did a great job. What makes this movie special is the animation. Such a unique style with a mixture of like 90s hip hop and graffiti and bringing a comic book to life. It is on par with Into the Spider-Verse, but has enough of its own unique flavor that it doesn't feel like it's copying it. And that was so great. Dope soundtrack, really fun and fantastic mutants other than just the Ninja Turtles. The action was really, really good. And even though the story leans a little too kiddie sometimes, I still ended up loving it anyway. Great watch.
Hi there, big dogs. I'm trying to get home.
I know which way that is.
Oh, great.
Right up my ass, you little.
Oh, no, that can't be.
This summer has been defined by its comedies for me. So many great R-rated and regular rated comedies have come out this summer, and I think Strays is one of the best, if not maybe the second or third best comedy that came out. It's so funny, so raunchy, so disgusting, and depending on your tolerance level may make you feel a little nauseous. I've seen people say that in reviews and I felt that myself, but this cast was so great as the dogs. I love the story. It was an R-rated Homeward Bound. Who knew that I needed that in my life? And I just had such a great time. The ending is one of the best endings I've seen in a comedy movie in a long time as well. And yeah, I can't recommend Strays enough. It didn't do well in the box office, but I hope people find it on streaming because it's such a fun time.
Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Guess that's you guys.
My number one film I saw in August, or that came out in August, I should say, is Bottoms, and it's so funny. One of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. From minute one to the last minute of the film, I either had a smile on my face, was holding my gut, laughing so loud or going, what is going on? Because it's audacious, it's raunchy, it's hilarious, it has some heart and fun, but the premise is so insane, but executed in such a nuanced way that it doesn't feel disgusting, and it just tackles so many things that are happening in the modern setting in the world right now, and in such a satirical way, and also pays tribute to old 90s and early 2000 comedies. It's such a great film. I loved it so much. I think the cast was fantastic. The main characters, Rachel Snow and Ao, I don't never how to say her last name, so I'm not going to try. They do such a great job together as the two leads, and I think the direction was stellar. I highly, highly, highly recommend going and seeing Bottoms. So yeah, those were my 9 films that I saw in August 2023. My job here is done. I let you know how I feel. Every single movie in here except the Adam Sandler Netflix film with his daughter, I have a review with my full in-depth thoughts on my channel, and the link will be in the description and in the pinned comment below, so you can check them out. Also, the next part is for you. Let me know what your favorite films that you saw in August 2023 was. And if you didn't see that many, just let me know what your favorite films of the year are so far. I'm very, very interested to see people's lists, to see if there's any films that I personally missed. This was a really great time. And if you had a really great time, like the video, let YouTube know what you like, and then get this video popping. Attack that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of my reviews, reactions, live discussions, and much, much more. And you can watch more of my content right now.